You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Thursday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
Don't forget, if you haven't got your 50-50 ticket, if you are listening on October 31st, 2024, deadline is 8 a.m. tomorrow morning to get your 50-50 tickets.
And if it's after 8 a.m. on November 1st and you're catching up on old episodes of the Brock and Dalby Podcast, you fucked up.
Yeah.
You missed out.
This is history now. Happy Halloween, though. If you want to see our costume, you'll throw it in the podcast links?
Yeah. We did a little video. Every year we like to put together a costume. We did Shrek and Donkey one year. It's always like big guy, little guy
Yeah,
costumes.
we did Indiana Jones one year. Dalby was the boulder. I was Indy. Chased
right.
after me. And then last year we did the scene where, like, I forget the actor's name. The guy that plays Newman in Seinfeld when he's in Jurassic Park.
Wayne Knight, I think is his name. And I don't know why I know that.
And
but.
the dinosaur, like, spits in his face.
Yeah.
I was the spitter, and Dalby got spat in the face.
And that was no CGI either.
So we were trying to figure out big guy, little guy thing, and, I was Phil Pritchard this year, the keeper of the cup, and
Yeah.
Dalby was the Stanley Cup.
It was such a weird thing to go to a store yesterday and buy silver face paint, white hairspray for your hair, and a big-ass roll of aluminum foil. Also, at which point, by the way, and I'm not naming names, but when I went up to the counter, the woman looked at the hairspray that I was buying for your hair and then looked at my bald head and went, "You know you can't put this on your face, right?" I was like, that's disrespectful.
Honest customer service, actually.
Well, I mean, maybe I was buying it for a friend. This isn't for me.
She doesn't know that.
She thought I was about to go home and just blast myself in the face with spray paint.
We probably used about 10 feet of aluminum foil on Dalby wrapping up. The biggest mistake was we wrapped you up before we did any of the makeup.
Right. I could have put on the face paint. I could have helped you with the hairspray,
Yeah.
but instead you wrapped me up in foil and then I just had to stand there while you did all the rest.
Check out the podcast link for the video. For some reason, I tried to pick Dalby up, and I fucked my back up.
I was
It hurt
gonna say,
so
is it
bad.
still? That was like 4 hours ago.
I'm tight, dude. I'm tight as hell right now.
Is that a workplace injury claim? Can you, I mean, it's your own fault, and you certainly shouldn't be trying to pick up coworkers.
Why don't you shut the fuck up and help a brother out? Help a brother get a check, dude.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
What's your over-under of trick-or-treaters you think you're gonna get?
I honestly, I would set it at about 100, and I might take the under. Because my neighborhood is popular for trick-or-treating, but I don't have a sidewalk on my side of the street, and it is crazy the difference in traffic.
That's true. Yeah, you don't have the sidewalk, so people just don't bother coming across the street.
The other side of the street, I watch my across-the-street neighbors just get mobbed with kids, and then you can tell the ones that are either, like, really into Halloween or just maximizing their candy output, because they're the ones that'll cross.
When did safety become a concern over candy?
If I'm being honest, I don't even think it's safety. I think, and I'm not trying to be the old mean guy, I think it's lazy.
Yeah.
I think it's optimizing.
I will say it is lazy, and you're saying 100?
Yeah.
I'm saying 22 kids.
Wow.
And it pisses me off every year, because you've seen my house. We're one of the only ones in our neighborhood that actually decorates.
Yeah.
And I think last year we got 17 kids. Mind you, the weather wasn't that good, but the year before I think we got 25.
You know what? That's it, though. You're right. Your house decorated looks awesome. If it was in a neighborhood with other decorated houses, I would expect some pretty sick candy.
Well, and then we're off the main drag of
Yeah.
King's Court. I guess I just always give away where I live. But, like, we're off the main street there. So it's like you got to go down, and all the kids walk down King's Court.
Yeah.
And none of them bother to come down in our area.
No, so that's you're hidden away in a neighborhood that doesn't necessarily look like. If I'm living in your area with my kids, I'm probably going to a different neighborhood to go trick-or-treating, which I know some people think that that's not a good thing, but, like, I don't know. I want my kids to have a good Halloween.
Courtney literally just bought full-size candy bars this year because she's just like, we'll just hand them out till they're out.
You're going to be bringing them in for lunches the next few days.
It is weird that this is the only time that I do want kids at my house.
364 days a year. Don't come anywhere near my front porch.
Halloween is the only time that kids are allowed to take candy from strangers, and people can be like, I'm disappointed the kids never showed up.
We didn't get enough kids today. That's so weird.
They never came.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I won't take the disrespect on the text line from Tom, who said Brock must live in a bad neighborhood and Dalby must live in a rich neighborhood.
See, he thinks that because you always talk about me being quote-unquote rich for having money in my wallet.
Well, this is just proof you get more kids going through your neighborhood. Someone also texted in and said, what age limit do you cap off trick-or-treaters?
I mean, I don't have a hard, fast age limit, but I don't like it when grown people come to my house.
Well, like teenagers?
Yeah, I think if you're like, listen, if you've had to shave in the last 3 days, if they have more facial hair than you, which is a low bar, I know.
Yes.
But I don't think you should go to a Halloween party.
Well, think about it like this. I mean, teenagers could be doing worse crap than going door to door and getting candy tonight, right?
I get that, but also, like, you probably have a part-time job. Go buy your own chocolate.
I will say this. I don't put an age limit on the trick-or-treaters that come to my house because I'm just happy to have people show up. We put in the effort for the decorations.
Sure, yeah.
You must be wearing a costume at least, though.
That's a non-starter.
Bare minimum.
If you come to my door looking like you're about to ask me about my cable package, then no, I'm not giving you candy.
Yeah,
you gotta put a costume on. But also, like, I don't know, I feel like if you're over the age of 18... like, you gotta fight me on the lawn if you want the candy. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta leg wrestle for it. Yeah, like, well, you know, physical tests of strength. You gotta earn the candy at that point.
I don't like the whole age restriction thing on trick-or-treating. I honestly think, like, as adults, we should be able to go out and do it, but I know that's frowned upon.
Yeah.
But I will say there was a kid last year that was on my porch that started vaping. After he said trick or treat, and that kind of pissed me off.
I forgot about that guy.
This kid just blew a fat cloud of like blueberry yum yum in my face, and I was like,
well, yeah, he was in costume. He was dressed as a dickhead.
yeah. That's the costume, being a douche.
Yeah. He showed up. He blew the fat cloud. Was like, give me some candy, bro.
I'll say that. That's my cutoff. If you can buy your own jewel, then don't show up to my house.
If you've got a deeper voice than me, you're not getting a Kit Kat, all right?
That's most kids for me, actually. So.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
As of today, Costco is going to start selling booze across the country.
I saw that, but it's still tied in with the LCBO, right?
Is it?
I believe so, because that's the thing. I've seen a lot of people getting excited, because if you know about Costco's outside of Ontario, some of them have liquor stores, and they sell all those, like, Kirkland Select brands.
That's what I was hoping. I was hoping we were going to get some Kirk Lights.
Because that stuff is crazy cheap and still very good. Now, I can't confirm. I obviously work here and not Costco. But from what I've heard, they can still only sell stuff that they're getting through the LC.
Will it be wholesale beer? Will it be like when you go across to Quebec and you can buy like an 80-pack? That's what I'm wondering.
I need to know if there's someone listening who knows someone who works at a Costco or works at a Costco, can give us some light on the subject. We'd love to hear from
If only they could start letting us tailgate Costco, go get some hot dogs, have a few Kirky Lights in the parking lot there.
No. I get what you're saying. That would be nice, but it's already the worst place on earth, the Costco parking lot. We are not taking up valuable parking spots so you can eat a hot dog.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
There's this story I keep seeing around on the internet about a guy named Clive Stafford Smith. I guess he was on death row back in 1995 going for the electric chair. And when he was asked for his last meal, Buddy said all he wanted was a dart, a cigarette.
Just give me one last smoke.
He said, quote, because if I'm going to die, I don't care what my last meal is going to be.
I guess, I mean, I would want to go out a certain kind of way, but I get where he's coming from.
Now, here's the thing. The reason this is making headlines is his lawyer's been doing these interviews. I don't know if he's writing a book or whatever, but he said he was denied the cigarette as his last meal by the state because apparently they said smoking is bad for your health.
Sorry, they denied a death row inmate who was about to get the electric chair a cigarette because it was bad for him.
Like, I mean, Buddy's about to get smoked. You might as well just let him have one, right?
I mean, let the man smoke in the electric chair. His time on this earth has come to an end. Unless you're worried he's going to die of smoking-related illnesses before you can flip the switch.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That's like, even I was reading more stuff about all this stuff. It's like, even with lethal injection, they'll still give you the alcohol swab before they inject and everything. It's like, they're going to die. Like, what are you worried about? Like,
I guess in that case, you would do it only because if the drugs don't take.
True.
Then you'd hate for him to like, oh man, not only did we not kill him, but now he's got an infection.
But the irony of it's like, we're worried for your health right now.
We want to make sure that you're as healthy as you can be before we end your life.
But the whole last meal thing, I mean, it's a tough decision. I mean, like, go out for dinner sometimes and you look at a menu and you're like, I don't even know what I want.
Dude,
like,
literally 2 days ago, I took the family out for dinner as like, congratulations, because the kids got flu shots.
Yeah.
And I sat with the menu, and it was one of those restaurants where everything is on the menu. And I felt anxiety. I did not know what to order.
Imagine knowing you're going to die.
Right. Now you are literally picking the last food item you will ever eat.
If you had to, off the top of your head, what's the last meal you go with?
I think that I would probably wuss out and just get a pizza.
Yeah?
But I think I would get real specific about like what's on it, where it's from. Like I want a real New York pie.
See, I think you got to go with something that's going to make things a little messy. Like
You think so?
You got to go out with a little bit of a show. I mean, like you get a bunch of tacos, some chili or something.
Oh, so that when they flip the switch and you cease to exist, you make a mess.
Yeah.
That's what...
You know, you just drink like, I don't know, like 4 gallons of milk or something.
I love that your idea of the ideal last meal is to make some poor guy on the cleaning crew's life miserable.
You eat a bunch of unpopped kernels. Make popcorn.
See if they go off in your belly?
Yeah.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
A lot of people agree with me with the last meal idea that you got to kind of make a mess or explode on your way out.
I just don't know how I feel about your last act on this earth being ruining someone else's day.
Tom and Shannon both said they're allergic to shellfish and said they just eat a bunch of that.
Honestly, I do
If you
get.
can take yourself out before they do.
Well, not even from that perspective. I get what you're saying, but I'm thinking like, if you've always wondered what something you're allergic to tastes like, this is your opportunity to experience it because you won't be around to suffer the side effects.
Yeah. You just eat a bunch of peanut butter for the first time.
Right, and just like, wow, I've really been missing out not eating this my whole life.
Yeah, someone else said just get them to smoke something. That way it takes a long time.
See, and that is the other thing, right? If your death penalty is contingent on finishing your last meal, then yeah, I'm going for something that's like a 48-hour smoked brisket that I'm going to eat a big ton of, that I'm going to take, give myself some extra time.
I was reading about this guy, Thomas Grasso, that he ordered a bunch of stuff. It was like steamed clams, mussels, a double cheeseburger from Burger King, spare ribs, milkshakes, half a pumpkin pie, and then he asked for a can of SpaghettiOs, but they gave him regular spaghetti, and he was able to argue that he got another meal because it wasn't what he asked for.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love getting technical.
There's another guy, James Edward Smith, that asked for a lump of dirt, apparently. He was denied that and ate a cup of yogurt instead. What a psychopath.
What a turnaround to be like, yeah, give me a big bag of dirt. All right, fine, give me a Yoplait.
It's always the last meal, but, what would be your last drink, I guess?
Do you go alcoholic? Like, do you go out with like a nice tall scotch or
Long
something?
Island iced tea. I think I go what I love. I think I go with a Mountain Dew Voltage.
I was gonna say,
if I'm getting the electric chair, it's kind of fitting too.
That's so gross. I was kind of thinking like, you know what, a nice, cool, refreshing Dr. Pepper on my way out.
All right, that's last drink. What about last movie? What do you do with that?
I want something, because obviously, like, this is a serious, somber moment. There's part of me that wants to watch The Green Mile just to mess with everybody. But I think if I had to pick last movie, I go with, like, a Billy Madison, maybe a Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Something that I'm just like, I know I'm going to laugh from start to finish, and maybe I ruin these movies for the guards who have to watch it with me because now they'll always think of me when they watch it in the future.
True. I think I got to go with something long, maybe like a Jaws or something like that.
Oh, buddy, if you're
Stretch out as much time as you can.
If you're going long, you got to do Titanic.
Yeah.
And you do it on VHS, so you get the extra time where they have to switch tapes in the middle.
two-parter?
Yeah.
Okay, last song then, actually.
Well, I mean, now you got me thinking about, like, trying to make this last, right? So what's that, Inagata de Vida? Let's have a seat. Let's stretch this out a little bit. Where are we going?
Stairway to Heaven could be nice. That's pretty long. But then also it would be funny to go out with something kind of crazy like the hamster dance or like Crazy Frog.
It's just like, you're a psychopath.
You're sitting in the cell with your priest.
I like it playing while you're in the electric chair and it's on as they flip the switch. So your body starts twitching to it.
Cotton Eye Joe.
Your foot just starts stomping.
Well, one more. What would be the last thing you could say? Your last words.
My last words would be, don't forget, and then I would just let them hit the switch.
I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe do like come closer.
Keeps a mystery.
The money is hidden by the...
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Pretty cool story. The tale of Wrexham continues. You know, the soccer team that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney bought?
Yeah.
And they did that whole document of the road to Wrexham. They've moved up like 2 full leagues in the last couple of years.
They're doing pretty well, yeah.
It's an amazing story, and it's really cool because people kind of thought that they were just doing it for publicity for like their movies, their shows or whatever, but they keep showing that they're really investing in the community. Reynolds and McElhenney actually bought Wrexham Brewery over the weekend.
Okay.
So it's a sponsor of the team, but it's its own beer company that has been around for like 140 years or something like that.
Nice.
And they've been struggling a little bit. It needs some upgrades and there's some bills and things like that. So they decided with their investment group, they're going to step in, they're going to buy it, and they're going to incorporate it into their company, and they'll be now like the official Wrexham beer for the soccer club and then for local pubs and stuff like that.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Which I guess the only thing is, like, if it's been around for 140 years, you can't really mess with the formula. Because I was thinking it would be cool to have, like, a signature flavor for Wrexham FC.
Like what does a soccer team
club
taste like?
Right. Although I don't know a lot about the team, so I can't say that. But it got me thinking about, like, what if North American sports teams had their own signature beer that was, like, exclusive to the team, had sort of notes that made you think of that team.
You could probably do it for every team except the Ottawa Senators. It would just be an empty can. That's kind of what that team is.
And it's an old one, too. Like, they found it in the ditch a while ago, and it's got nothing in it.
Yeah.
Or, like, the Yankees. I mean, I know they just lost yesterday, but, like, that's an iconic baseball team with a pretty rough and tumble fan base. Like, Yankee beer would honestly just taste like someone spit in it, but you'd be too scared to say anything about it.
Yeah, maybe it's not even a beer. Maybe it's some sort of liquor that just makes you, like, insanely obnoxious.
It's a shot of whiskey that gives you a super bitter face.
I would say, like, a Montreal Canadiens type of beverage would be, like, it's an acquired taste. Same thing as the Yankees one. It gives you a confidence. It's like, maybe it's one of those craft beers that won a lot of awards when they first started out.
Right, yeah,
but
yeah,
they really haven't done anything, and it sucks now.
It used to lead the league in sales, and it's not there anymore, but people still think that means it's the best one.
Yeah, and they always brag about their old accomplishments. Yeah.
Or like, football teams. Like the NFL's always looking to brand stuff. You could do like a Raiders beer, Las Vegas Raiders. They used to be like kind of like dark, strong beer, but then they moved the brewery, and now it just tastes like cigarettes and air fresheners.
Yeah. I'd say the Patriots is probably an expired beer.
Yeah. Again, used to be really good.
It was really good a few years ago. Kansas City stole the recipe.
That's... It's like how they say McDonald's got the old Tim Hortons coffee
Exactly.
supplier.
The Patriots and the Chiefs kind of traded off there.
And then I think, you know what, probably the one that would make the most money, the biggest selling beer, probably the Leafs beer, which would have kind of like a salty tear kind of flavor to it with aromas of fresh cut grass from golf courses nearby. I think that would make a really spicy Leafs beer.
You know what, man? Screw
What's up?
you.
You wouldn't drink that?
I don't really have much else to say about
You wouldn't
that
buy
one.
a 6-pack of Leafs?
I drink my own tears.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Cause it's Texas Thursday. Thursday right now. Time to send a text 762-555 because it's Texas Thursday. Send us a text. Ask anything you want. We'll try to reply or read it on the radio.
Stop with that.
You don't like my little Michael?
I don't know if I was ready for it. I think it just caught me by surprise.
Shimone.
Oh, there you go. That was pretty good.
I should have grabbed the crotch the whole time. That's what I was missing.
No, let's just be real clear, and I feel like HR would agree with me. Doug Touch sending an email as we speak. No crotch grabbing necessary.
I get one crotch grab a day. Is that it?
It's like a swear word movie. You get one.
Someone said, what is the greatest Halloween candy of all time?
Greatest Halloween candy of all time. See, the thing is like I'm tempted to say like a Reese's peanut butter cup or something like that.
That's the one.
But that's not Halloween candy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's candy you can get on Halloween, but I can also go get it any time of year.
I guess, but like I don't really like candy that much.
Yeah.
So,
The greatest candy that you only really see at Halloween, I'll go ahead and say it, is the little Kraft caramel cubes in the clear wrapper. You take it off and you chew on it a little bit.
You can also get that from your grandma.
Well, my grandma's a Werther's original gal, you know, so I gotta wait till Halloween to get the cubes.
I'll say this, if you want to go with Halloween specific stuff, they do the Hershey's cookies and cream, but they're like shaped in like a bat.
Oh, okay.
That's the move.
Those are pretty good.
That's the
I
move.
will give you Hershey's cookies and cream, always a good tune.
Someone said, is the Monster Mash a dance or a song? A question as old as time. I'm pretty sure it's a dance, right?
Well, so the thing is the song Monster Mash is not the Monster Mash. It is a song about the Monster Mash. That said, we have no idea what the Monster Mash actually is. There is a prevailing theory.
They keep telling us that they did the Monster Mash. So was the Monster Mash a party or was it a dance or...
I've heard that it was an adult gathering, so to speak, of all the monsters getting together and doing the graveyard smash, as it were. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That is something I've only heard in the last year or so, and I'm putting all my money behind it. That's a conspiracy theory I can get behind.
Huh. Interesting.
It's eyes wide shut for Halloween.
I'm sure there's a video somewhere out there titled Monster Smash. So.
Yeah, you just search Monster Mash Rule 34 and you'll be fine.
Rule 34?
Oh, you don't know about Rule 34? We'll talk
after.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm curious now. Someone says, why don't you guys do the Monday Sucks anymore? Because everything's so negative in this world and we just felt like it was starting off the week negative. We'll bring Monday Sucks back.
From time to time?
When there's something that like really sucks.
But like when you think about it, we were hearing the same stuff most Mondays and like maybe for you guys there's a good chance to like get something off your chest.
Got depressing.
For us it was really sad to end every Monday with like all the world's problems. That's why we love Ooh Yeah Friday. We go into the weekend with so much positive energy from all the people telling us the cool stuff we're doing.
Sporadically, we do bring it back, though, so you just got to listen for it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Someone said, what are you guys dressed up as Halloween? You haven't seen our costume yet?
Oh, come on now.
Oh, okay, you got to text Halloween to 762-555. We dressed up as Phil Pritchard in the Stanley Cup. I was Phil Pritchard because I actually have hair.
And I was the Stanley Cup because no Leafs fan would ever dare to dress up as one.
Valid. We wrapped Albie up in a bunch of aluminum foil, painted his face gray. I spray painted my hair gray, wore white gloves. We wheeled him out in a chair.
Yeah.
And I know anyone who's been listening to the show all morning has heard this. I blew my back out for some reason trying to pick Dalby up. Realized I'm not as strong as I thought.
It was entirely Brock's idea to try and pick me up, by the way. I would have never endorsed such a terrible decision.
There's a table out of frame in the video that I wanted to try and put him in front of, and it didn't work out. But
if you want to see it, text in Halloween to 762-555, or if you're listening to the Brock and Dalby podcast, it's in the show links.
And finally, someone said, Happy Halloween. I'm curious, what are you guys actually afraid of?
You know what? The only thing I'm really afraid of?
Being alone? I think that's everyone's biggest fear, isn't it?
I mean, I was going to say heights, but if you want to get into the...
That's everyone's biggest fear, isn't it?
Don't leave me.
It's the scariest goblin of them all.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
See what he's got.
Good morning. That is word.
is sleek. Yep, sleek. S-L-A-K-E. Sleek.
Oh, I thought he was saying slate.
And it's to lessen the force of, or to satisfy or quench.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, that's just like a 12-pack. Anyways, that just about does it. Have a great one. Cheers.
To be clear, not everyone needs
Happy
12.
Halloween.
What? Oh, happy Halloween.
Oh, sorry, Ed. Not everyone needs a full 12 beers to slake their thirst, just to be clear.
So that's what it is? It's just quenching your thirst?
Yeah, well, that's the way only definition I've ever heard it used. It's usually used by, like beer snobs, cocktail nerds, people who are really, like, hoity-toity about their drinks. Like, oh, I would love to slake my thirst with a delicious beverage.
I'm going to use that tomorrow when Courtney's like, what are you doing? I'm going to be like, I'm getting slaked with the boys right now.
Slaking my thirst, baby.
Yeah, slake it up.
Slake me, bartender.
If you're not hydrated enough, you're deslaked.
Ooh, unslaked.
Yeah, unslaked.
I don't know which one I like more. Slake is a fun term, though. The more I'm saying it, like I said, I had it in my head that it was like an upscale, push your glasses up your nose kind of nerd thing. But now I'm like, nah, that's fun. I'm going to ask my kids, like, hey, you guys need anything? Are you slaked before we get in the car?
Gatorade should change their slogan to Slake Quencher.
If you slaked yourself today.
Get slaked, boys. All right, that is going to do it for us. We hope you have yourself a great rest of the day. Slake, slake, slake. Stay slaked. Stay slaked sounds weird.
Stay alert, stay slaked.
Yeah.
The Brock and Dalby podcast is brought to you by the Brock and Dalby 50/50 raffle in support of Breast Cancer Canada.
Buy your ticket today at bcc5050.ca or click the link in the podcast description.